Hello everybody, welcome to the 31st episode of the Chicken Chess Club podcast, the only chess podcast in the world. My name is Jan Gustafsson, I'm still a chess grandmaster, and I'm being joined by my two beloved friends, former colleagues. Magnus Carlsen's head coach, Peter Heine Nielsen, is with us. Peter, where are you? How are you? Is golf season over? Did any Russian players play any tournaments? What's happening?
Hi, thanks. I'm in Vilnius, Lithuania, and generally things are good. But you're right, golf season is completely over. It's simply full of snow if you look out from my window. So that ship has basically sailed for the year, and also the preliminaries of the Football World Cup. They stopped today having these early matches. So basically, it's a new world I'm facing, and I even started this morning analyzing chess openings for Magnus and sorting socks at the same time. So basically, you go find a good move, then you go find a matching pairs, and then you check the engine and so on and so forth. So basically, my life has come to a bit of a standstill there. But now we're podcasting, so that's great.
Sounds good. I like that in your stories, for whatever random stuff you're doing. There's always, but I'm thinking about openings, or but I check the engine between sorting my socks.
I have to send a bill at some point, so it's good to have some evidence.
I understand. I don't think he's listening. You're safe.
I wouldn't. Has made 1-2 references to it, but maybe he's bluffing. Could be.
Laurent Fressinet is here. He's back from Israel. Laurent, I followed your match. I wanted you to lose in the finals, so I was heartbroken for you. Are you okay? Are you back in Paris? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm okay. No, of course, it was very, very disappointing. Yeah, I know that you wanted me to lose the finals. Unfortunately, we lost before. Maybe we'll come back to it. But it was a match against India where, there is a coin flip because you just play blitz tiebreak. I mean, rapid. We lost 3-1 the first one. We won 3-1 the second one. So it came very much to the blitz after 4 or 5 hours of play. And, we lost 2.5, 1.5. I mean, what can you say? Of course, it's a bit disappointing, but, it's a 50-50 coin flip. And, that's it. It's one blitz game. Anything can happen. And, of course, very, very disappointed. But that's how it is. So, I'm back to France. I'm not doing much so far. I was flagged numerous times in the MrDodgy Invitational. We'll come back to it, which annoyed me. But that's about it. I don't know.
Fair enough. So we're all at home. I'm also in my basement. I went to play Bundesliga this weekend. Was exciting. I traveled to the city of Bremen, which is fortunately not very far. And I was a bit nervous after playing I think generously 2250 player in Thailand, if I could move the piece at all. But I had a good weekend. I won a nice game on Saturday, 20 move draw on Sunday. So the perfect weekend. I played some good moves. I'm feeling a little better about myself. Of course, it's a bit random. Had I made some random blunder or missed something on Saturday, I'd be very down. How's it for you? Peter is not playing much, but in general, the way that your chess games can affect your overall life quality and confidence, even after all these years, I find shocking.
Scary. Well, you played a classic game like the famous Botvinnik Capablanca, if I remember, right? You played a great game, was my impression. You were sacrificing pawns, giving mate, all kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, it was a nice game and everything worked. So with the computer, it looks very clean. Of course, in my head, there might be 1-2 spots where the calculation wasn't as clean, but the moves look very nice. And of course, it's much easier if you get a structure where you know what to do. Okay,
you bluffed
should be
me.
Rook A1, E4, and hope it's checkmate. So it was a bit easier to play, but it felt good. I sacrificed a rook and a bishop.
It was amazing. But anyway, let's go back to misery as you were trying to get that subject. And I generally agree with you that chess is not zero sum. If you lose, you feel absolutely horrible. And if you win, you just feel it's normal. That's, you're a genius. You should expect to play like that. I think that, this pain from losing is a big subject that should be discussed, basically. And I used to, Well, I think in 2013 I tried to play a tournament just to see if I could play for fun, and I realized I could not play for fun at all, and then basically I stopped playing. So
Yeah, I think that playing for fun ship has sailed. What for me was good, this is getting into my insanity, but I was able to prepare, because I have this thing where sometimes I procrastinate about preparing and then I do it late and think in Bundesliga you can't do it. Well, I'm not really doing anything on the Friday evening or Saturday evening, but sometimes I don't do it because I think, okay, it's a waste of energy. But one should just prepare when one has time, and it was helpful this time. I knew stuff.
But Bundesliga is a bit difficult to prepare for because you don't know who you're playing, right? And, well, you mentioned Bremen. I always brought a computer to my game. So when we get the pairing, you can sit there for half an hour before and prepare. But in Bremen, I got into a fight with some of the, we were playing at this very lovely stadium, but I was trying to sit somewhere and quiet, but I was not allowed to sit there, and they were disturbing while I had to play against their team. But I always used to bring a computer so I could prepare a little bit. But
that was me, no? Maybe.
No, maybe. No, I think it was actually Nürnberg, a famous game where I spent 100 minutes for just one move because I couldn't remember my preparation. At some point, I thought better to try not to lose on time. But, well, I guess also for me and Jan, we used to really hit hard in the openings, and we can't do that anymore. So I don't know how you handle it. Well, you know my solution, but...
Yeah, no, I think it's... you can use it as an excuse not to do much, but it still makes sense to think about what you can play against whom and try to surprise. And well, I need it for confidence that I know what I'm doing in the opening, because I don't have much faith in my chess skills. So it felt good, but of course it's very random. That's what I meant. Like you win one game, you feel good about yourself. And yeah, this point you're making that losing is more pain than winning brings you joy, I guess is correct. I'm not sure if it's that way for everybody, but I think it also applies to most sports. But for me, there's also a lot of pluses in quote unquote feeling normal again. Like I played normal games, like where you start questioning it, and then you so in that way it helps. But I also don't want to brag too much about beating an IM in Bundesliga.
I think it's connected to that we've spent so much time of our life on chess. When I lose in shogi, it feels rather normal. It doesn't feel like an attack on my
I don't care. Other games where I don't take any.
No, but
how about golf, Peter?
Golf, even less than. I mean, I'm a bit upset when I sort of hit it into the woods 3 times in a row, but not something that will stop me for taking my phone and making a tweet and then trying again. No, it is quite different. This is purely entertainment. Chess. I promise I had this idea. Let me just try and play chess tournaments for fun. Now focus on being Magnus's coach and just enjoy it. But it was clear I was not even close to being able to enjoy it. And I don't think it's going to work for someone who spent as much time as we have. There might be differences. I think maybe Larsen and Topalov is a bit different. I asked Larsen at some point how he felt when losing. He said, yeah, that's a pity. Then I try to win tomorrow. I think Topalov maybe has some of the same, but I think for the rest, losing a game of chess is rough. I don't know.
But we also don't see Topalov playing chess all the time, because for the fun of it, I think I always admire these guys who keep playing later, and they used to be 2700, now they're 2530, but they're still having a good time playing at holiday locations. I think it will be tough, but maybe it's an adjustment that has to be made. Also, I think Peter and I were sort of similar, that, we care in chess, but that's very hurtful. For Laurent, I would guess you're a bit different. I think you care whatever you're playing, poker or tennis or whatever stupid games you're playing. No disrespect to poker and tennis. But you're not as hurt from chess losses, maybe. Or how is it for you?
No, I am. No, I'm definitely am. No, I'm competitive, so I like to win in every game. But of course, it's much more painful. Much more painful, obviously, when I lose at chess. That's for sure. I still take it. I mean, it's the same as you. I mean, I understand that my best days are behind me, but still, I mean, when you sit there and you try to do your best, it's very disappointing.
That's how it should be. For me, it was difficult to get used to that. my best nowadays was so much worse than my best when I was a better player. I don't know. Well, maybe you haven't faced sort of this regression to that extent yet, but still, it doesn't bother you?
No, of course it does. But sometimes I can play some. I'm happy that sometimes I play some good games. The main problem for me is in classical, I would say, where I cannot stand. I mean, like for 5 hours, I cannot keep the concentration for so long. I mean, I feel tired, and this is the main difference. I mean, in rapid, to be fair, I play slightly worse than before, but not much worse. I would say. Really, if I train a bit, I think I will play about the same. Not the same, but about the same. I mean, and the last tournament kind of. Yeah, I played in Capdag.
I mean, we are talking like your best days are over. You just won an individual gold medal at the World Teams Championship.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I'm like 26-80 in rapid, and I'm winning some rating. So I mean, I play almost the same, but in classical it's completely different story. I'm just missing way too many things when it comes to the third, fourth hour. I don't know if it feels the same for you, but I don't know. This timetable phase is a disaster now. I mean, I shouldn't get into time trouble.
Yeah, no, for me it's more, I think, also because I play so little that adjusting to classical games, that one actually has moves and not has to make moves and not just sitting there is rough. But the fatigue and it adding up is definitely a thing as well. But I'm fighting it. Going to the gym, working out. And so not just for chess, but also for survival.
Yeah.
Because we're old. But yeah, Laurent, I've praised you before. I don't want to do it all the time. It looked like you had this phase 2, 3, 4 years ago where you dropped a little, but now I see you play, you just look like a normal player. Maybe not at your peak, but the Olympiad, like you played some good games. Now you play great in this World Rapid. It looks like you still got it. I understand maybe not rating wise, but like chess level wise, it looks like you're very much competitive at least.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, rating reflects your play, unfortunately.
I understand, but you're still a valid player in these rapid. You start crushing everybody, and you're beating all these young kids.
Yeah, I was a bit lucky this time. I mean, mainly I did great.
You delivered for France on both occasions. That France didn't do well in the Olympiad has nothing to do with you, and the same here. Yeah. I mean, if one of your teammates has been a bit more lucky or in shape, I mean, this could have gone extremely well for France as well, right? So
what is extremely clear, I mean, coming back to it for me, like I cannot play some. If I play some random open, I'm not saying that Thailand Open is a random open, but maybe I will say it. I cannot. I mean, it's very, very difficult to get motivated, actually. And I need to get motivated. And for this Olympiad, of course, I mean, or this World Team Championship, I was very, very motivated. And then I feel I can show my best. But if I play some random stuff, I think I'm screwed. I cannot. We play too many of them.
I don't think that applies to me. Like when I play classical, I always feel it's serious. But of course, my approach to sort of combine holidays and have a good time. If it goes badly and then I'm not really in a professional mode and I stop preparing and so on, then it can go very badly, as we've seen this time. But no, I hear your point. Of course, if you're playing for your country and you feel there's something at stake, then you'll make sure you sleep well, you'll prepare and so on. And there's some added incentive. Okay. Shall we move on to what's happening in the chess world? And is the MrDodgy Invitational something that's happening in the chess world, or is that just an excuse for MrDodgy to tweet year round?
So why didn't you play? First of all, you guys. I played.
I'm doing commentary whenever I have a free minute. Yeah. I'm very dedicated to the event. I made a quick draw on Sunday just so I could travel back in time and do commentary at 5 p.m.
Yeah, actually, I was listening to some of it, and I learned that you were the one to recommend the 5 minutes no increment time control.
Yeah, I'm still a fan. I want the flagging. I want the action in the end. I don't want these 100 move games with 3+2. And everybody's acting like, oh, it's impossible to complete a chess game in 5 minutes. What is this? Like all my life, I played 5-0 games over the board where you have to press the clock. And you can make thousands of moves. And now I think people aren't used to it, and all the time it comes down to 10 seconds versus 10 seconds. Keep 2 minutes on your clock. I don't get it.
I mean,
they all play 3 minutes games on the internet all day long, and now 5 minutes is like this crazy torture to the players. I don't understand.
Yeah, but it's such an. I mean, it becomes a video game when you start to get like. I mean, I can tell you, I lost a few games where I was like, I had like 30 seconds. A guy had less than 10 seconds, I had no chance.
You shouldn't have 30 seconds. You're too slow. Like you're not good at bullet. You should keep a minute and a half.
Yeah, but then I play with a handicap. I play 3 minutes against 5, basically.
That should be a handicap if you are very slow.
Yeah, but I'm not slow over the board. Okay. I mean, like my hands are normal. I'm just slow with the mouse. So it feels very unfair, but okay.
I think this is the struggle. There is sort of also even in classical games. I think they want to have no increment, and it's basically you're making it more exciting. But the price, in my opinion, is too high. I'm on Team Fress here, but it's typical that the commentators favors it, and it gives more action. And I understand the point.
I never understood in classical. I'm fine with increment after move 40 or after move 60. But why we need to arbitrarily force the players to spend 30 seconds on every move before move 40 makes no sense to me. Like, you have the same time if you have 2 hours 40. If you want to be an idiot and have 10 seconds for the last 10 moves, knock yourself out. We'll have a good time. But you can keep 30 seconds per move if you really find it set up.
I disagree because this 30 seconds has made it more civilized. Else we ended up in situations.
Boring.
No. We ended up in situations where people will, press the clock while the pieces are flying all over the board, and that is basically cheating. And the arbiters was not good enough. Do you disqualify them and stuff like this? There was a lot of unclear situations.
That's because of the arbiters and unsportsmanlike behavior. Like, you can still very much make your moves in 2 hours in 40 moves.
Yeah, but this 30 second made that these kind of very dodgy faces in the end disappeared, and that I really liked. It became this problem was that if you play someone who is basically cheating by not putting the pieces the right places but pressing the clock, well, it's difficult to prove and things like this, and the arbiters are generally not educated enough to handle the situation. So I thought that it actually cleaned up a dirty face of chess, and that I really liked. But
no, I understand it makes it easier to match tournaments. You don't need that many arbiters. They never need to do anything. But it also takes so much of the excitement out of it. Like, it's it's like saying in basketball, let's not have a shot clock, because then we won't see many turnovers because people can dribble up the ball quietly.
It's completely not at all the same. I'm sorry.
No, but in a way,
it's a bad comparison.
Not even
I'm
close.
Still standing on that.
Yeah.
I'm fine having increment later, so you can't flag in some rook end game. That's not what we want in classical.
Yeah.
But to have a proper time control and to make it a little more exciting, I don't get one.
I agree with your point, Jan, but I think it's different over the board and online, because online it becomes a mouse contest. I mean, it's not a chess contest. I mean, it has nothing to do with chess.
No, it's true. It's a different skill set, but
I mean, so I have to play video games. I see this guy Moussard, Jules. I mean, like, he's so fast with the mouse because he played so much video games that he's used to it, and it's just in bullet. You have no. I mean, like this guy Tang. I don't know how undo. I mean, like, I'm a big fan. I mean, I'm watching his show. He has 15 seconds to play a full game, and he's talking to the chat and doing some stuff. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But this is not a chess skill. I mean, this is just a video game skill.
I understand, but it seems like most of these young kids are very good at that non-chess skill, and I don't think they're playing video games all day long. It's something you practice by playing online blitz, which is not too strange in an online blitz tournament.
But it's very unfair because I couldn't start before. We couldn't start. There was no internet when we were like 15, so we couldn't start. So it feels very unfair.
It's actually untrue. I probably saw you on the Internet Chess Club playing bullet games when you were 15. Old age is a disadvantage. Okay, how old were you? 17?
Well, it was early 2000. I mean, the connections, internet was kind of very bad. So I started when I was 18, I think.
Okay.
So I remember seeing Magnus actually in Linares. Then they also in the end had only a fixed amount of time with no increment. And we were standing there in the not spectator hours, but in the lobby of the hotel debating an ongoing game. and I forgot who it was who made a draw with 30 seconds left on the clock, and you can see that the elderly players, compared to Magnus, like I think it was Ivanchuk and Vichy were saying, okay, but he only has 30 seconds, or Magnus saying, come on, you just run with your king there, you collect this pawn, you go back, you queen it, and bing, what's the big deal? So, it becomes a matter of mentality, I would say. But
I know it's okay. Yeah, sorry. Please.
No, there is one point I still want to make. Everybody just refers to MrDodgy as everybody knows who or what MrDodgy is. Well, I would like to make the point that actually we have a very prestigious chess tournament with a fictional character running it. It is rather extreme. It's actually a MrDodgy event, perhaps getting more traction than an official world championship, right? It is
way more traction. It's much bigger than the world championship.
Well, no, and the players are better. We should just at least appreciate how weird that is, that we just consider it
Magnus
normal.
Playing, yeah?
MrDodgy is...
And also, I find it very inspirational that you don't need any connections in the chess world, any social skills, any organizing talent, network, money. Like, all you need is a Twitter account and you can make stuff happen in chess. If that's not an inspiring story, okay, it doesn't work for Peter, making stuff happen with his Twitter account. But I think we should all look up to MrDodgy, and I don't mean that literally at all.
No, I'm very impressed. I saw him the first time in a chat in some Chess 24 tournament, and it took me a while to realize that he also existed in real life, that he's not just a bot, right? But
it all started because you, Jan, and Peter Zwidler thought the guy was funny.
That's how it should be. You should spend 5 hours in the chat, and if we think you're funny, then you should.
Yeah.
You should slowly but surely become the Kaiser Soze of chess.
So actually, I will tell you what annoyed me the most. Actually, to get flagged, I'm used to it. But what annoyed me the most is that I saw I got really dirty flagged. 3 times.
Oh, you should write an open letter. Contact Kramnik. He knows all about it.
There's a Zoom call, and you check, you can see your opponent. And 2 of them, they looked so happy. That was so disgusting. So I will tell their name now, Cory and Sevian. They looked so happy. That was Shevchenko. Okay, he looked like, okay, I had to do that, but I'm not proud. But yeah, but Cory and Sevian, they looked so happy. That was so annoying.
Yeah. But I want to interrupt here. This is the problem. You call something dirty flagging. If we play
that doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. If we play 5-0, there is no such thing as dirty flagging. Else,
when you don't take back, look at Cory. It was online and okay.
Yeah, but that has to be part of the game. Else, it makes no sense. There's no such thing.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, and that I think has changed with the new generation. And at least
the etiquette has changed from 20 years ago when we grew up, when you were not supposed to make non-chess moves to win on time. No, it's just
but I still. When you have rook against rook, I don't think you should.
No, it changed. Now it's normal to.
That's how it is. And you're right, it's becoming a computer game, but that's part of the idea. You can like it or not. I'm not a huge fan, but there is no such thing as dirty flagging. That's just part of the game.
This is your opinion. I can still say that it's dirty flagging. No?
You can.
You can have your opinion. It's just wrong.
It's my opinion. I don't think it's normal, but okay. People are living that way. But I don't. They are doing it that way, but I don't think it's normal. I have the right to think it's not normal.
Well, that's what I like with increment. It becomes more civilized. We cannot have a game where you think it's dirty flagging, but the majority thinks it's not, because, then you get a disadvantage if you start being...
I can't imagine Peter Zwidler, for instance, doing that to me, or me doing that to him. I played last year against him. This never happened, simply.
Yeah, but anybody under 30 will do it. And you can think they're all morally bankrupt, or you can accept that that's the way things are now. That's how the game is played.
Yeah, but I think that, I don't think it's good. Yeah. I understand.
You've officially entered the old man, get off my lawn phase.
No, but I'm not.
We used to have honor. Rook versus rook. We will make a draw. You can't win this position. It's a very simple draw.
I understand it happened. It's not, we are far from, they do whatever they want, but I wouldn't do it, and I don't think it's okay. But, okay.
Okay, moving on. the MrDodgy Invitational, Magnus Carlsen is participating. And the story Magnus told us was that Peter Heine had asked him if he could replace Peter Heine because there were Russian players in the tournament, so Peter couldn't play for ethical reasons. Magnus said no. But then David Howell asked Magnus if he would replace him because David had bad internet. And Magnus instantly said yes. Of course, my dear friend David, I will do you this favor. Peter, is this upsetting to you?
Well, maybe he thinks that he didn't want to face Howell, but wouldn't mind facing me. But a little bit, but also, I mean, I asked, to be fair, 1.5 days before. But no, I'm more puzzling.
Well,
but,
Howell asked way after that.
Yeah, exactly. So that, I mean, well, Magnus, when he spoke to me, maybe he had a very busy schedule for that day, but somehow that had cleared up. He just wanted to leave room for...
Likely,
maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I still think that maybe MrDodgy is so powerful in the chess world that he knew he had Magnus playing, but Magnus couldn't reveal towards me that he had a deal with MrDodgy.
That's not what happened.
Well, so you claim, but you could also just be part of the conspiracy. But a little bit. But again,
all good conspiracy theorists, you will add all new information instantly to. You might be part of it.
No, I think generally my role in Team Magnus is that I'm on a need-to-know basis, and I don't need to know if he plays this or not. I would say, but. But I think it's cool he's playing. He seems to be enjoying it. And normally I try to take credit for his openings, even if I'm not involved. But for this one, I think I'll sit it out because he's really playing all kind of random stuff, is my impression.
I thought he played very seriously against Salem. Maybe not theoretically critical, but he went e4. He went for a structure where he thought he had an edge in this Italian. Played every time. With black, he played Queen's Gambit, declined. He was playing sturdy chess, actually. And he won 7-0, saying that he had struggled earlier against Salem in anonymous online blitz. So maybe it is the Magnus factor. Like if you're sitting there and the guy starts winning games and you can see him, then of course it's...
Stealing Hammer's material now, yeah?
Yeah, it's Hammer who jumped
Hammer was tweeting that.
Anish was also mentioning it that, if you play someone who doesn't know you, or that it's you, that sometimes they play much stronger, and then if they play a name player, it goes the other way.
I thought there was ideas to make this kind of online event, which should be rather easy in a way, right? That simply we have a 10-player tournament with the best players in the world, and they just play anonymously.
I don't think it would change anything. I remember back in the days, like it was before some.
No, I'm not saying Magnus is bad at chess, but it's interesting that you can just get crushed 7-0.
I actually played Magnus. I didn't know it was Magnus on anonymous account. I was completely crushed. I stopped after 8 games and I said, "Okay, you're way too good for me."
I used to play Magnus and I thought it was Salomon. That felt.
Yeah.
And he said I would disagree if I could, and that was the end of the match. But I felt the guy was really, really good, and
no,
that's not very often that I stop. I mean, especially 10 years ago.
I had the reversed one. I played sort of under my real name in a Danish chess account, and someone told me, no, you play good, but you are definitely not Peter Heine. So I tend to disappoint.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it changed. Nowadays, they're saying you play good, so you are definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I understand. But no, it seems cool that Magnus is playing. Also, I mean, it's one of the titles he's lacking in his sort of portfolio, right? So why not try?
It's the MrDodgy Invitational and the World Cup.
That is
the question is, if Magnus wins the MrDodgy Invitational, is it a super tournament? Because Anish has won it in the past. So I'm not sure if that disqualifies it. Laurent, what's the verdict?
Well, I think you have to rate them individually.
Yeah, because he said Anish, one more insult towards me, that it was not super tournament because I was participating and Laurent's Trent as well.
He said because Trent and Fressinet were playing. Yeah, he could have picked any other name.
Yeah, he keeps on. He did that also a few days ago, so he
keeps fueling the flames. You never bring him up at all, and then he just
no. But I mean, he's not. He's doing it in a different way. He's insulting me, which I don't do. But
never.
Never. No, I didn't. I don't insult people, but that's what he does on a regular basis. So we have a different approach again. But he's under 30. Or is he 30? Maybe I'm old guy, you can troll, you can play, but you don't insult people. I mean, it's a bit too much. It's what he does on a regular basis, actually.
The problem is the first 31 episodes of the Chicken Chess Club podcast.
But I don't, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying every episode is a great player, but he has no killer instinct.
You just question his character every single episode.
No,
but it's true. I mean, what can I say? I mean, he's the first one to. I mean, it's completely true.
Understood.
I do exactly the same with Wesley. Unfortunately, I regret it because they are great players.
Not sure we can count how often Wesley was chicken of the week and how often unusual. Anyway.
Yeah, but that was for the joke. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Anyway.
So, MrDodgy Invitational, we're in the knockout phase. Magnus is still in there. Dubov is in there. Grishuk is in there. There's some proper good players in this nonsense.
Yeah.
What else is happening? The Tata Steel India. Nakamura's playing. I didn't follow that tournament, but it looks like it's pretty strong. Nakamura, so Vidit, Mamedyarov, Abdusattorov, Parham. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, me too.
Arjun, Pragnananda, Nihal, Setaraman. That's a serious tournament. It's rapid, yeah?
It used to be part of the Grand Chess Tour. Or more.
Yeah.
You're not spending your life on Twitter? There was a lot of tweets announcing it. I mean, they were doing a lot of PR.
Or I am actually, but I have so many chess accounts muted that often I don't catch the chess information.
Yeah, no, fair enough. No, I mean, well, I agree. It was puzzling to me that Naka was playing. It's that's a bit strange. He doesn't play much. I mean, yeah, but it's always interesting to see him. He has basically been a positive surprise whenever he's played recently, right? I mean, simply.
It's not anymore a surprise. And Blitz and Rapid, I think, is probably a favorite. Vishy is not playing, no?
No, Vishy.
No, I think he's there, but not playing.
Vishy is advertising it. He's doing something, but yeah.
He's doing it right.
Yeah, he's... so I can check the standings while we are talking if you want.
No, I think it didn't start yet. Yeah?
It started.
We are, at the time of recording, we're Tuesday.
They are playing round two at the moment.
Hashtag transparency.
Yeah.
Naka is playing Wesley So at the moment and is slightly better. But so no, Wesley is also playing. But this
chess never stops. So there's top 10 players are in action. It feels like pretty much every single day. There was Bundesliga on the weekend, the Dodgy thing, the Tata Steel India, the Speed Chess Challenge. We have MVL, Nepomniachtchi, Ding, everybody playing. It never stops.
If anything, it's too much at the moment. I mean,
it's like the T1000.
I have no idea what that is, but I mean, well, I think we had MrDodgy tournament qualifiers, not qualifiers, the sort of preliminaries going on at the same time at some interesting speed chess matches, right? It becomes weird in a way, and I think also MrDodgy clashed with the world team, so they had to move the round 1 hour earlier in order not to clash and things like that. Right? So it's. I mean, no, it's overwhelming. I assume there will be some kind of break soon, right? And then we will have to wait for the World Rapid and Blitz in end of December.
What are you talking about? I'll be going to Sitges.
Oh,
doing commentary from onsite, sitting at the beach, sipping mojitos. But yeah, I guess there won't be many top 10 players.
When is it?
Starts December 11th.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. We will. But you're not going to lose any elo points. You're just going to comment, right?
I might still lose brain cells.
Fair enough.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this speech challenge, we talked about it last week. Very interesting format. I was following this Grishuk Ding. It was very, very interesting.
What I like about the format is that there's increment, because you don't get any of this dirty flagging.
Yeah.
Okay, they give 1 second. I know you are mocking me. They give 1 second. I would give 2, but yeah, 1 second is enough. It's okay. You have time to finish your game. So that was a very exciting match between Ding and Grishuk, two great players. Yesterday I was commenting on MVL against Nepo. He just actually he was a bit superior in the blitz section 5+1, 3+1, but he crushed him completely in bullet. Nepo just went on tilt, on a massive tilt at some point. At the end, it was 8-point defense, I think.
But I like it. It becomes different than chess. It more feels like a ping pong match, right? You play till 17 points or whatever, and you win one ball, you lose one ball. It goes back and forth like this. It's a very different dynamics compared to something where we're used to. You play one game, you take it serious, you care about your openings, this kind of stuff. I mean, there's just
okay, Peter. I can't pass that up. Speaking of, you win one ball, you lose one ball. I'm very happy to report no ball losses here whatsoever because it's very, very safe with the Lawnmower 4.0. Because support for this podcast, support for the Chicken Chest Up is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, which I own. The Performance Package. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code CHICKENS. That's chickens with an S at manscaped.com. Laurent, you revealed that you had some extra information about your previous experiments with visiting these French ball barbers.
Okay. It was done with I didn't know the word in English actually last time. That's why I couldn't say the full story. But it was done with wax, this shaving, and that was incredibly painful. I still remember to that day, to be honest. But I'm sure I was lazy. I came back I don't know when I came back, but I came back at some point, and I was too lazy to try Manscaped. But I promise that for the next week, I will try it for sure. I don't know exactly because we have also two tools, yeah? I should check my what we received exactly. But I will try the full package. I promise.
You are the full package.
I will give you a description, but I'm sure it will be less painful. It cannot be more painful. So it won't be painful at all, actually. Most likely.
That was amazing advertising. No, it works nicely. I got used to using the Lawnmower under the shower, and it's really very, very easy. I feel trim. I feel light. Okay, I'm not using it every day. I think I've used it like 3 times total now. So I'm still keeping it tidy there.
Okay.
Big fan. I brought it to the Bundesliga in my Manscaped bag. I can recommend it. What can I say? I feel good about it. I'm also doing it to make Peter uncomfortable.
No, yeah, you are, but for numerous reasons. But I'm curious that, well, basically you seem like a new person, confident like this. But,
absolutely.
You don't think, I mean, it didn't make you too comfortable for the sort of the Bundesliga. It's not like you feel that you are almost falling asleep because you're relaxed. Sort of. No, it's just a pleasant feeling that doesn't interfere with your chest in any kind of way, except for giving you.
I feel like a big weight has been lifted, not off my back, but you get the idea. So yeah, go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code CHICKENS. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with the code CHICKENS. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Can't wait to hear the report from Laurent next week. No more waxing, no more pain.
Because Peter didn't receive it, or what?
No.
What
not yet, but
not yet. Yeah,
it's a work in progress, but no due fault of Manscaped. So
okay.
What else is on the list? Oh, there were some complaints about security checks in Bundesliga.
Yeah.
We were told before the games that we might be randomly checked during the games or after the games. I'm not sure if it's new anti-cheating regulations.
Yeah, of course.
I wasn't checked in spite of my, I don't mean to brag, but perfect play,
yeah.
which I found strange. But I think somebody had some strong complaints. No, I forgot who
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Nanayan.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Nanayan, because he was checked. Actually, he was checked in the middle of the room of the playing hall. Actually, which is of course wrong, and he had to take off, and it was beeping. So he had to take off his shoes. Then it was still beeping. Then he had to take off his socks. It was still beeping, and actually it was on the floor. I mean, something was on the floor. Or under the floor. I don't know.
Carpet.
But it was beeping on the floor. Yeah. So actually, that was very, of course, unpleasant experience. I must say that since the Carlsen Niemann, I was checked already twice. Once since Bundesliga, but in a closed room with my opponent. So everything was fine. I mean, and it was very. I mean, if it's done very politely by the arbiter, I don't see any problems with that. Actually, and in World Teams, I was checked again in a private room. I had to remove my shoes. It was not beeping, but still they asked me to remove my shoes. And if it's done politely and in a gentle way, I don't see any problems with that. Of course, in the middle of the playing hall, I mean, you cannot. You have to go into some. You have to get some privacy, I guess. And
I actually wrote about that on Twitter as well. In the Fischer Random World Championship, I was also checked because the seconds had to sit and talk with the players before the game. So basically, we were checked, and we were checked just in the middle of the hotel reception, right? I mean, everybody can stand there. The Norwegians are television is filming it, and I was told to stand on one leg, and I decided to get some kind of exercise mood. So I was trying to balance, and I lost a bit of my balance. And I think someone was starting to write in the commentaries that it looked like I was drunk, which was perhaps both hurtful and not true. But I genuinely think that, also you saw in St. Louis that basically you could follow the live coverage of people being checked.
Yeah.
That is probably too much. I think this has to be respected as some kind of privacy. There should not be video filming, and ideally some kind of privacy. I mean, they compare it to airports, but in airports you're not allowed to film that area, obviously. And I think we need to make it a little bit more, civilized, like having increments. But I understand Jan will say it's great television, so over to you.
Yeah. I don't care that much. It's part of the game. It's important we make sure people are discouraged from cheating or from thinking about bringing any devices. So I'm even for having it on camera. Of course, it should be done in a respectful, polite way. You don't have to strip and so on. But if people see that's part of the game and you might get checked, who knows? It might discourage someone. So I'm all for it. Of course, you are probably annoyed if it's in the middle of the game. You're thinking about something and then somebody distracts you with it. But we have to get used to it. It's more important to fight.
It was in the regulations in the World Teams that you could be checked in the middle of the game. But I mean, it was rapid game, so they didn't do it. Also, Niemann was doing poorly, so. It's so weird. I mean, in the middle of the game, nobody will dare to do it, I think.
No, you're wrong. This has been happening before. I mean, Nigel Short was writing a complaint that he was being checked randomly during an Olympiad, and he got into a fight with one of those who had to do it because, he was disturbing him. And I get his point, but there also have to be random checks. But no, they have definitely been checking people randomly during the games before.
Yeah, this is normal, yeah.
It's not a new thing, and that, of course, it has some kind of implications for the flow of the game. And, if they start checking you while you're in time trouble, it becomes problematic, right? So there is obvious...
That's just common sense. You expect some common sense to be used. They won't say, okay, you have 30 seconds, your clock is running at move 39. Please get up for a security check.
No, I get your point. So, but there is challenges here and there, and I think they will have to be solved in a way. So,
yeah, I just think the bigger issue is stopping cheating, and if there's some small discomfort, I think players will get used to it. It's also about communication. If it's announced before the games, this could happen.
Then, I guess the next question is that, do we think this has an effect, or is it for show? Because, you are checking the players, but, if you do random checks, at least they just can't go and pick it up somewhere where they've hidden it. But, if you want to have it very secure, you need to have a closed area so people can't hide things like Godfather style. And, I mean, it might just be more for show than it is actually reality preventing cheating.
No, I mean, it makes it more risky.
I don't know if it will catch many people, but having it out there, I mean, it will discourage people, which is always something.
Yeah, because it's more risky. It's more, just simply more complicated. So it's nice to.
But I mean, we have caught someone who had things with them by accident, but I'm not sure how many of these checks has actually caught actual cheaters. And
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's good enough that it serves to discourage people.
you can argue that. You can also argue that it doesn't work because they're not catching people. I mean, it's I don't know the answer to that question.
There's no glory in prevention.
Okay.
I learned that from Dr. Christian Drosten during the Corona pandemic.
Fair enough. You're right, actually, but yeah.
Okay. Did we cover everything? That can't be it. There's more stuff happening in the chess world.
No, actually, in World Teams, we didn't finish that. China won with China won. We didn't mention that with E team, maybe F team. I don't know.
C team. I checked.
But I think they had some clue. I mean, it cannot be completely random. I mean, these guys were very good in rapid. I mean,
they're good. Come on, they're not playing much, but they're probably training quite a.
Yeah, it's what I mean.
Quite a bit, and I guess that helps in chess. It's not like they're total unknowns. No, these guys, they're all strong grandmasters. They might have had low rapid ratings, but clearly they are incredibly underrated. No,
of course, that's what I meant. That the Chinese Federation didn't pick them, didn't pick those players by accident. I mean, they knew that the guys were good in rapid, or maybe they made some qualifier. What do I know? I mean, I cannot imagine. It's just so random because I mean, like they crushed everyone. They won all their matches in rapid, so that was very impressive performance. And congratulations to them.
Who's your favorite player on the team? Because for me, it's Li Di.
Li Di, yeah.
Yeah.
Lagarde was talking about him all the time because he lost as white in no time. Li Di was, he was the most impressive because that was the first one. I mean, the only one I never heard of, actually. The other ones I knew by name, Bei Jingqi, while... I mean, he plays this game against Ding. And the other ones I already saw. So Li Di, I didn't know, and he has a very good, very technical style and very strong player. So that was impressive performance by them.
Big fan.
Also, they beat Uzbekistan they beat the Olympic champion in the final, so it's well deserved.
Yeah, also Uzbekistan impressive again without Abdusattorov. Made the finals. They seem to be strong.
They might just be the best two teams, in my opinion.
The best two teams?
In this event.
In the event, yeah. I thought you meant...
No, not in general, but of course in this event, I mean, they could be. They were very strong. I mean, that China won was not a particular surprise to me. I mean,
No, but also, if France wins, I wouldn't be shocked either.
No, I understand. But, I mean, it's not shocking in any way. I mean, if you have to make a bet, I mean, you could give me France, you could give me China. I wouldn't have cared much in terms of odds.
Before the tournament?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, come on, look at their rating. I mean, you don't know this guy Li Di, you don't know. I mean, like, why Li Di would be such a great player? I mean,
they are quite high.
I sent him.
Quite high rated, and you know that.
No, it's not high rated.
No,
it's 2450.
Okay, but I mean, some Chinese who has not played chess for 2 years. I mean, there is a reason he's going, and I mean, well,
okay.
They are.
No, I didn't expect the Chinese to be that good. To be fair.
Fair enough. No, I saw them obviously as one who had a chance. But I mean, I kind of like the format, but of course, it's still. I think it's underwhelming that we're missing the best players in the world. I mean, it could be, a World Cup shouldn't be like that, but it was generally fun to follow.
Yeah, but we had the best officials there in Jerusalem. I met all of them.
Yeah.
Who was there?
No, not all of them, but okay.
So what's the all-star team? Asmai Parashvili was there?
Yeah, Asmai was all the way. Macropoulos.
Geoffrey Bork? Is Geoffrey still around?
No.
Geoffrey, I don't think he's still on. Bake.
Who's gonna get Peter commentary jobs if Geoffrey's not?
Yeah. I mean,
And
somehow-
actually, when we left, we met Nigel at the reception, which was a bit surprising because I did record the podcast with you guys a few days before, like maybe the day before actually, and Peter was claiming he was somewhere in the I don't know
Pacific?
where.
I think
Yeah,
it was
maybe.
Fidji, maybe was it?
And then the next day I go to the. I mean, we lose our match.
You're jumping into my segment now. We can do the jingle and talk about this, or how do we do it?
Come on, we're allowed to talk about Nigel if Laurent met him without you making a FIDE segment.
I met him at the reception, so I was a bit surprised because 2 days before you told me he was in some exotic place.
He was.
So I didn't expect him to see him at the reception when I was like checking out.
He flew back to Australia, then to Dubai, and then to Jerusalem. I mean,
But how was the weather in Jerusalem? Because I think we also need a heat map for Nigel's
It was not
travels.
great.
Has he gone anywhere where it's cold or raining? How was it?
It was better than Hamburg or Paris, but worse than Sitges.
So less than 15 degrees? That's
Yeah, well, yeah. During the night it was kind of cold, but during the day maybe it was at best 20.
that was a lot of touristic pictures where they're not wearing a coats. I mean, I think you are being too loyal. I think the weather was great.
Yeah, I think you're wrong that it's worse than Sitges. There it's 15 during daytime. And cold at
Really,
night.
yeah? Okay, that's I'm wrong. I thought I had better recollection of Sitges, better memories, but yeah. Okay, so it's 15. But yeah, I saw it because there were a FIDE Congress in Jerusalem, so I didn't see Dvorkovic nor... I think he arrived the day after. But people, I mean, I must say that people from FIDE, they look at me in a different way since we started this.
Dvorkovic was in Lebanon. He was visiting their golf club.
But how do they see you? Because they're all very friendly to me since we started the podcast. It's always high fives when we meet.
I think they see me as a friend. I mean, to be honest,
But for you, it's unclear, no?
I think maybe I'm a bit paranoid, but I think they see me as a friend of Peter. And that sounds great, actually, for my relationship.
I might have to govern these appeal committees by myself, Laurent. I'm sorry.
I don't think they like the friends of
I
Peter.
think Magnus' dad has just made clear to them that I'm a bit crazy, and they understand. So that's no, you should just make a disclaimer like this.
I should make a disclaimer. Yeah?
Yeah. Don't they look at you with a bit of pity, sort of, that you're hanging out in these circles, or? I would more say that they sort of smile and
It's
smirk.
different. Let's face it. It's completely different.
Okay.
So my appeals committee, nomination is not coming up.
It's all right. I'll be sorry that you're not there, but I'll still do it.
You will have to win elections next time, please, Peter.
Yeah, also, I mean, people are saying we did so badly, but we got 16 votes. If you notice that Infantino is running for FIFA president, and he already seemed to have secured 207 votes out of 211 possible. So, I mean, our uprising was much stronger than...
He's so likable.
Yeah, that is true. What's not to like, indeed. He doesn't have a compromised past. You're right. Fair enough. Yeah, okay. Anyway.
16 votes, yeah? Yeah, this is not... Yeah. Can you name all of them?
No, I can't. And that is... I read somewhere that when you have this situations where people don't want to name sort of who they voted for, it's a clear sign of corruption and pressure.
No, but can you name some of them? You are 100% sure they voted for you.
You can never be 100% sure, but I'm extremely sure of some of them. But
so
the Germans have your back.
Exactly.
UK.
The Germans, I feel very confident. The French, less so. Denmark voted for us.
I think you would be right.
There's no chance the French would.
Yeah. Poland voted for us. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The Faroe Islands voted for us. Lithuania obviously voted for us. Ukraine voted for us. That's 6. And
6?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
6.
How did you get to 6? But yeah.
Then I think England also voted for us, right? So that's 7. Then there is 9 to go. We already did that. But also, my feeling is that there is some who would rather not say. But I mean, it's I have an idea who the rest is, but not all of them. Then there is also surprising high number of countries who voted sort of blank in terms of they couldn't support Djokovic, but somehow the alternative was too weak.
How many actually?
I don't know, but my feeling was also
800.
that it's something like that. No, I think there was not maybe 5-6 doing it, but a lot. I mean, for instance, I think Sweden and Finland has said that they voted blank. Norway voted for us, they claim at least as well. So, I mean, and I forgot who else. New Zealand, I think, voted for us.
Sounds much nicer if you list the countries instead of just the
I was
100, 180 versus 60.
Yeah. We are kicking ass.
New Zealand, sounds like
New Zealand voted for us. Yeah. So, I mean,
how about Thailand?
I cannot imagine, but no.
Yeah,
no, it
okay.
was that was a tough experience, I have to admit. I mean, I really enjoyed the group chat, but and going there was okay, but going there was more difficult. I mean, doing the tweets, trying to be with friends with similar views in the campaign was nice, but the actual conference was perhaps not a fantastic experience.
No, but if you're serious about it, you had to go there. You have to show your face in the real world. If you just want to be a Twitter warrior, then you can't. It means
I mean, it was. Generally, it was extremely crap for family plans that I went there. But I thought that when you do this, of course, you have to show up and take your loss as the way it is to appear serious at least. Anyway,
your sacrifice, also all the time you sacrifice tweeting about it, is much appreciated.
Thanks a lot, Jan.
Okay, Laurent, I guess it's time for us to shut up and let Peter talk about whatever he's talking about. ICCF 960 preliminaries.
Oh no!
How's
I prefer FIDE now.
Now let's get to FIDE. No one cares.
Yeah.
You will draw everybody with an engine and beat the ones without engine. Congratulations.
Spot on. You're right.
Yeah. No, tell us.
What a surprise.
No, Peter, I think you should update us if there's something that we planned, that you will make all those except the guy who is playing alone with his chess set. I mean, like, if there is not something who is going according to the plan, you just update us. Otherwise,
one of them just took vacation. So I mean, it's even slowing things down.
That doesn't change the result, no?
I'm somewhat better in one game, but I wouldn't say enough to win is my hunch. So yeah, I think draw among all the 4 guys using engines, and then a flip of a coin. Who wins the event is the likely thing. But I'll have my chances in the coin flip.
Very exciting.
But anyway,
sounds great fun.
Thanks. Yeah, and also, one observation is that it becomes like analyzing chess openings. I'm not looking at the board. This idea that I will learn something about chess 960 is wrong. You're just staring at engine evaluations. I mean, it becomes a mathematical.
Wow, you're really shattering all the beliefs I had about correspondence chess. I thought it's guys sitting there deeply thinking. Of course, you use the engine sometimes for a little assistance, but it's really about calculating and going deeper than the engine and then choosing wisely. And you're saying it's just staring at engines? No.
No, but you would also think that you would have to come with some kind of human input. But to be honest,
I really didn't think so.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Give me a decent engine and I won't lose a correspondence game ever.
Probably not. You're probably right.
No, I'm not so sure about that.
No, that's what I'm trying to find out. And well, maybe I don't know. I'm not skilled enough to play correspondence. But
I'll play solid openings. I'll play the Berlin.
Yeah, we are chilling 960 at least. No,
the Queen's Gambit, the Ragozin. How am I going to lose a game?
You're not. That's also why these TCEC matches, they force you to play some random stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, you need some kind of cooperation in order to get but even, I mean, in normal chess, we think, okay, this is a sharp position. There's no such thing as a sharp position in correspondence chess, right? No, I honestly have no clue. But, again, I mean, I have to do something while I feed the engine with openings, moves from actions.
I mean, Alpha Zero was winning a Stockfish without any forced openings, no?
But that was a different time control, and also things have really advanced with Stockfish incorporating this.
Do you think it's just impossible to win a game against, let's say, depth 50? If you just wait, you just space bar when it's depth 50, and it's impossible to win a game.
If everybody has the same technology, I think it's impossible. We might have an engine in 10 years that is so ridiculously stronger than what we had now that people would crush it with it. But if everybody is using Stockfish 15 and pretending to do their own deep analysis. Why would anybody ever win the game? I'm not buying it.
Okay.
No. Also, I think AlphaZero was crushing Stockfish to some extent in the openings. If you gave Stockfish a much better opening book, instead of inventing the moves, it will do better. Because at that point, I think Stockfish was rather weak in the openings because it is not trained particularly to do well in the openings. It's trained to do well in the latter phases, while AlphaZero is actually extremely good in playing the opening phase.
Also, one part of human input where I could have helped Stockfish is whenever the position was 0-0, according to Stockfish, I would have gone with the forced move repetition and not with Stockfish scrappy 0-0 elevation in a dangerous position. So there you can actually help by forcing the draw.
No, AlphaZero was still clearly better, but I agree with Jan. If you twist, take the draw and you twist, play proper openings, it would be much harder. But, well, that match can be actually, well, you could reconstruct it if you wanted to at some point. But anyway, I think this is just, we are dragging time until the highlight of this show, right?
Yeah, people have been waiting for the 1 hour mark. I think pretty much everybody is fast forwarding till here. They probably never heard Laurent's or my voice. So, Peter, what's wrong with FIDE this week? Thanks for listening to us and bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, well, I think, well, as we spoke of, that the FIDE Congress is going on in Jerusalem right now. And I think one should really look at the great sort of Gens Una Somos family picture there. There is 21 of the FIDE sort of creme de la creme leadership having a picture taken together. And there's many interesting things there. Well, for a start, we talk a lot about women in chess. This year is the year of women in chess, and there is 2 females and 19 males in the leadership. So I think this gender equality has not slipped through to the higher echelons of FIDE yet. But what I think is perhaps more interesting in this picture is, well, also you should pay attention to who is actually back. I mean, you mentioned Asmai really. He's prominently there. Of course, he's the ECU president, but Makropoulos is back, which is quite interesting. He got elected FIDE vice president in the recent elections. I mean, except for the presidential elections, there is separate vice presidential elections. And Makro made a great comeback to sort of chess there, while Team Boris Pullets, which was not very efficient and sort of fluent in negotiating with the delegates, you could see Makro was like a fish in the waters. He would sit with a new delegate all the time. He basically had his schedule mapped out. He would talk with them individually for 15 minutes.
But, I mean, he started in the early 90s, no?
Exactly. He knew everybody. He was chatting them up one by one, and definitely had his network ready. I think actually before the presidential election, I passed by him and I sort of jokingly said, "Okay, Makro, we're in trouble. Can you give me 80 quick votes?" And he looked at me and smiled, said, "Maybe 50." So, I mean, and I think he was, well, of course I was joking, so was he, but it also gives away. This is his games, and he's managed to position himself back. What I find interesting is also that he wants to go back. I mean, he's been here this whole life. Why not just be a pensioner? But I think he thinks it's interesting, and he was back there. Other people who was also there, you could see Vega. Vega is an interesting character. I think, I'm sorry, I forgot which country he's from. He's from South America.
Just one question about Makro, because I'm very interested, because he lost the election to
exactly.
Dvorkovich in 2018, so now he's back. I mean, they are friends, or how does that work?
I don't know. You're making a good point, because if you think that I am annoying on Twitter, and you probably think so, and I say harsh things, I mean, they said much worse things to each other, Makro and Dvorkovich back then. The problem was maybe they didn't mean it, and I mean my things. But, well, Makro is back and seems to be quite, on good terms with everybody. There seems to be no bad blood there. Also, maybe you remember that, they were not suing each other, but they were putting each other to the FIDE Ethics Commission during the election campaign, and afterwards they just both cancel it and move on. So, no, Makro seemed to be very friendly and on good terms with everybody in Chennai. So I think he's just back. But of course,
he was in Chennai.
Yeah, that's why he got elected, and he was campaigning himself. His son was also there, and he was friendly to me. But now and then he points out on Twitter that I said things, many years ago, and now I don't stand by them and such. He might have a point at times. But no, Macro is back there, and you can see he feels like a fish in water, and he's extremely, he has connections from back whenever, but also, Macro has been there at least plus 30 years, if not more, I would guess, right? And so has this other guy.
So what's your point? Like, first of all, no one knows who Macro is from our listeners.
Macropolis.
But is he a friend or an enemy, or what are you telling us with this?
He could be a bit of both. I think that Macro was the general secretary of FIDE under Kiersan, and perhaps even further back. He was basically the Grey Cardinal who was pulling all the strings, and while the Kiersan was the eccentric leader, Macropolis, or Macro as we all call him, was the sort of real leader. And many has accused him of corruption, for instance, but no evidence has materialized as far as I know. Let's not go into details over these things, but he was basically the guy that a lot of people wanted to get rid of along with Kiersan, and that Dworkovich managed to beat in the election. But it's not like he is left in disgrace. No, he's back and he is hanging out there. And my hunch would be maybe he has ambitious in the upcoming, in 4 years election, when there has to be a new leader of FIDE there. So, I'm basically just portraying that, we have a new FIDE, but we have the old guys there still hanging out. We have Asmai, we have Macropolis, and we also have Vega from South America. Vega is 87 years old by now, I think 86 or 87 years old. He's actually that old that, do you know who was the best man on his first wedding?
Capablanca.
Yeah, it was, in the ballpark. No, it was Che Guevara, actually. He was hanging out with quite some characters at the day. But Che Guevara was the best man at his first wedding. You can find it on the internet, and he basically was the one.
I'll dive right into it.
I'm sure. You'll have to do it in Spanish, but I know you also speak that language, so that's not going to be a big problem. Sí. But he has been, known for having a good control of that region, and it's also worth paying attention to who gets rewarded with positions in FIDE at the moment. I think it makes sense to follow the money. And one thing is this so-called presidential advisors. Presidential advisors, I think, happened after in the 2018 elections. You suddenly saw there was 4 new presidential advisors who all gets 24,000.
Sorry, I'm so bored.
They get 24,000 euros a month.
I'm much more interested in that than in correspondence games.
You see,
it's much better.
No. My point is that there is actually people who gets 24,000 euros a year, and for not really doing anything. Even the verification committee that is Vega. It is Berek Balgabaev, the old aide of or right hand of Kiersan. So we're talking about guys who's been in FIDE forever, who's still in these kind of positions. And then the new man there is the Sami Kader, and it's all people who has quite some control of votes. Sami Kader was the one who is the head of the trainers commission. He got it instead of Sokolov. You remember there was this big scandal that Sokolov was tweeting that he will never work for FIDE again, because I think Sokolov was trying to become the trainer, but it was given to someone who has, according to my sources, gathered around 18 votes for Team Dworkovich. So basically, these guys are being rewarded with
this is more than your work.
Exactly. He could beat us. He could beat us alone. He could beat us on his own. Yeah. So they are getting these kind of jobs in FIDE where 24,000 euros is quite something on a yearly basis. And the verification committee was complaining that they have they asked for contracts on what is their job contracts and which kind of work do they actually do, and FIDE didn't give them anything like this. So basically, in my opinion, it becomes a way of rewarding people who gather votes for you with money paid from FIDE's own accounts. That should obviously be wrong, but here we are.
FIDE on Netflix.
FIDE on Netflix, FIDE Uncovered. Yeah, that's my dream. Yeah. But no, you should pay. It's clear that how the new power structure will be in FIDE, and also this idea of talking of a new FIDE. There is some new faces, but there is a lot of old faces there. And,
that was not interesting for you, but I kind of
you enjoyed it a little bit.
Because you start with the correspondence stuff, which is
I try to lower
then the FIDE stuff becomes incredibly exciting.
Good.
So what about women's candidates? It started today.
Yeah, they started today, and of course, 3 of the 4.
Leg, of course.
The 3 of the 4.
So we will mention that the first leg was played in in Monaco with 4 players. 2 of them were Ukrainians, the Muzyczuk sisters. And Lei Tingje won the group. And of course, they did the group accordingly.
Yes, even though they had sponsors on the Ukrainian sanctions list, I would say. But yes, they have split up the tournament in order to separate the Russian and the Ukrainian players.
Where is it, by the way?
This one is in Khiva in Uzbekistan. And if you look at the sponsors, it basically seems to be the Uzbek state. Then this company Motiva, who is doing breast augmentations, and which, if you check the lead shares blog, has been heavily criticized for not being a very serious company. And then the last sponsor is something called Print Off. But if you click on the link on the website, you get some Telegram.
We are talking about Motiva, Jan.
Motiva, yes. And then we are talking about an Uzbek company doing prints. The sponsors I don't have much to say about. But, 3 out of the 4 players is Russians. And I have mentioned perhaps once or twice on this podcast, the IOC is recommending we ban them at the moment. One of them, Kostenyuk, has actually bravely stood forward and spoke out against the regime. I respect that a lot, but you can still argue that she has gotten a bunch of money via the Russian Chess Federation from the state. She has posted pictures together with Putin, and she has even been a member of, according to the Russian Chess Federation, of the leading party in Russia. But she is, of course, the one who has stood up the most. Both Lakhno and Goroshkina they didn't sign the anti-war letter, for instance. Goroshkina has been sponsored by Simalan, who is incredibly nationalistic, who's praising Putin, who's praising the Wagner group, for instance.
Lakhno has a special, of course, history, as she was born Ukrainian.
Lakhno was born Ukrainian. She changed from Ukraine to Russia in 2014, 5 months after the Crimea annexation. There was this case of the Ukrainian Chess Federation protesting heavily before the Olympiad in 2014 that Lakhno would play for Russia. And, they basically fast-tracked it, and Lakhno played on board 1 for Russia and 1 gold ahead of Ukraine. So, I mean, that there is no politicizations and that they haven't been used for propaganda is obviously wrong. But anyway, I can see that Jan is perhaps being slightly bored. Then, of course, we are debating Nigel, but we finished his cruise.
It's a serious topic, but we've talked about it
exactly
a million times. I still struggle. Demanding too much of people, of players living in Russia. I still think it's a very
but I think
difficult question. What we should ask of them, of course, criticizing officials as you do is fine, but what the players are.
But that is the problem. I don't think we can ask something of the players. They might face serious things. But that's also why it's reasonable to ban. And they don't face this dilemma. IOC is making that statement that we all should. I mean, it's easier for Kostenyuk to protest. She is living in France, right? There is, some kind of protection there. While if you live in Russia, you cannot do it. But then you also put them in a difficult and unequal situation like that.
No, but she's living in France, but she was, living in US, in Moscow as well. So now she doesn't return to Moscow. So that's sure. Let's give her a lot of credit actually, because that's not. That's a life-changing decision to sign this letter and to speak openly. So this is not easy, I guess.
I don't know if it's life-changing to speak to sign that letter. I mean, for instance, Kasparov has pointed out.
It is.
Well, that's your argument. Kasparov is saying that, saying no to war is way too weak. You actually have to sort of distance yourself from the Kremlin regime and the Russian state. And that is his point of view. I mean, and there is something reasonable in that. I mean,
also, we should mention a lot of chess players have done that. No, I might be wrong on the details, but I think Vityugov.
Living in Spain. And Zipenko?
Yesipenko.
Vidler as well.
Alexienko. They all moved to Spain a long time ago, which, of course, to us it feels like, of course you got to get out of there. It's a common sense thing to do. But people have families, they have lives, they have apartments and so on.
Property,
so,
of course. I mean,
it's a big step to move somewhere where you don't know how long you can stay, if you can travel and so on.
Well, you see it that a lot of millions of people are fleeing Ukraine, but there is even more staying back, right? It's, even under such extreme circumstances, moving away is a difficult.
Yeah, of course. I mean, for chess players, in a way, it's easier because if you are a normal, let's say a normal guy with a normal job, where is he going? Who didn't travel so much or not at all, maybe. Where are you going? I mean, you just stay at your home. I mean, this is very normal.
Also, you have your job, you have your bills to pay, your family to feed. Yeah, it's not a situation
of course.
You wish on anybody. Of course, the bigger picture is I keep seeing these tweets like, 2-day-old baby died when Russians bombed a maternity station in Ukraine. It's so freaking heartbreaking and inhuman, but I think I can't even wrap my mind around it.
No, I think Ukraine. I mean, well, you saw also this famous picture of the map where you could see that while the rest of, it's a global view picture of Europe. You could see lights, except for in Ukraine, when lights basically seems to be out. I mean, they are facing a winter without heating and electricity, and even here in Vilnius, you can feel how cold it is at times. So it's gonna be. Yeah, it's unbearable to think of, and it's caused by, right now the Russian war machine seems to target civilian morale rather than legitimate military target, even if, of course, nothing is legitimate in terms of how I see the war. But even so, this is even crueler. But, you're mentioning, yes, there is definitely Russians who has done that, and, in my opinion, they should get more help. Right now, for them to change federation from Russia to another country, they might actually have to pay the Russian Chess Federation 30 to 50,000 euros. That I think is unreasonable. They're basically stuck when they would like to leave. So I think that should be made easy. It should be possible to leave the Russian Chess Federation for free for players who want to change their federation. I think that would be extremely reasonable, and it gives people a chance to actually get away from it because. The Russian Chess Federation is supported and to some extent run by the Kremlin, and I'm sure there's people who would like not to be part of that, and they should be given the full chance to take that step. And we can finish on a higher note, but where is Nigel this week? We left him in Fiji, then as I explained, back to Australia, and now in Jerusalem. So all is good. I think...
Probably not in Jerusalem anymore, is he?
Maybe. I thought that they would work there for a long time, mapping out the details of how the chess world is going to move forward, or sort of the next.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, I thought normally. I actually have that. I haven't seen a lot of tweets on what happened there. I think. We might have a. I saw. one of my numerous sources in the correspondence world sent me a link of an interview with Nigel from the local media, and they were so rude to ask him if it sounds cold in Europe at the moment, while here you are traveling to the nicest places in the world where it's warm, and it was a good laugh and a good question. But
a dodgy source, no?
Sorry, a dodgy source. Yeah, I will not reveal my sources.
Okay,
would be in danger. But that. More or less finishes the FIDE segment. Of course, if you have questions, please ask.
we should tell the viewers. I don't have any questions.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
No, but I'm very jealous that Jan left for. No, but it was interesting. It was much more interesting than just correspondence. Correspondence chess side 60 segment. I was.
This is my life, Laurent. So don't mock my hobbies.
No, but
we can't mock your hobbies anymore.
You can.
We have to end the podcast.
It's a Woody Allen quote. But
I forgot that Macro was
kind
of against Dvorkovich actually in 2018. If I care, but I guess nobody cares. Yeah, but when you went, when you, like me, you played so many Olympiads and you saw all the circus around the election so many times. It's kind of funny to see them all together.
Yeah, but for you especially, Laurent, probably it will warm your heart. One guy was missing. Your compatriot, Mr. Quatley, was not there. So, some changes there are. It seems like Coatley is, I cannot imagine he's out forever, but he doesn't seem present at the current FIDE family.
I really hope he's out forever, but you can't count him out forever. Yeah, the guy is not the kind of guy who's out forever. Yeah.
I mean, if there is a contested FIDE election, I mean, someone like him who has connections for a long time will of course come back because, I mean, at the end of the day, it matters a lot if you can deliver some kind of votes. I don't know if the next FIDE election will be contested.
Come on, the segment is over.
Sorry.
Next week we'll have an in-detail debate on the odds.
Okay, fair enough.
Macro, Coatley, Vorkovic, Asmai-Barashvili in the upcoming elections.
You haven't mentioned the favorites yet, but okay, go on.
Henrik Karlsson, Peter Heine.
No. You are your gender balance is wrong. The next president will be a woman. We'll see. So, anyway.
Your wife is busy. Leave her alone with FIDE politics.
Yeah, it's not my wife. Anyway, go on. Should we go on to the chickens?
Chicken of the week.
Chicken.
I nominate Giri.
No.
You nominate Giri, Jan? Okay, good.
Of course.
Why?
He's been chickening out from playing anywhere. He didn't play the Jerusalem thing. He didn't play Bundesliga. It was funny, actually, in Bundesliga. I've mentioned this before. But you could see these name tags that weren't being used for our team, like our reserve players. It was like Caruana, MVL, Aronian, Giri, Svidler, Anand. We would have a pretty decent B team. But yeah, he didn't show up there. And then, most importantly, he didn't show up to the MrDodgy Invitational. And I think Peter has a great point there, why it's important to defend your titles in prestigious events for the world of chess.
Yeah, but that's really, my point, that I also wanted to nominate Giri because,
of course.
Well, you sit on this title, you have to defend it, right? But how many times
you have a responsibility to the chess world. You can't have it be anarchy if you just step down from a big event like that and then someone who's obviously a weaker player will win it, putting the chess world into complete chaos.
That is that's saddening, and I think immoral. Basically, you can't behave like that, right? So.
Laurent, who's your nominee?
No, I mean, no, I agree with you that he at least he didn't register in the Dodgy Invitational. I mean, he just declined right away. While in Jerusalem, he was on the list. Netherlands made
That's even worse. He should at least register and say, I don't know, if Ali Reza makes the finals, then I'll play something.
No,
like
but
that.
he registered. He made Netherlands ending up in a weaker group than they were.
Wasn't that
they
weak?
should have.
This has been covered before. You can't use that for 2 weeks.
No, that you can. I mean, this is one of my principles. But I mean, what was the story?
Because now Jerusalem is over and he didn't show up. So
what was the story there? Did the Dutch guys think he might arrive, or was it just clear that it was a bluff?
It was a claim.
They claimed that he might come, sort of.
But they were mocking him. Like, we're not sure, because he was playing poorly in Champion Chess Tour, we're not sure he wants to come. But the mocking part stopped after the first day of competition because they lost first 2 matches. So they kind of threw down on the mocking, on the Giri bashing, and then they focused on their play, but it still didn't make it. I
have done this once, that, with Bundesliga, with me and Jan's team, it's difficult to get, to know if you're playing and not. And once I had
We're not on the same team.
We were at some point. I mean, I was actually there before you, I think. No.
No, I'm not saying you were never there.
No, but
just making
that's
clear.
true. I mean,
you're no longer there.
No, it's true. I have been demoted and whatever. But I was in Buenos Aires. I was visiting Larsen, I think, and I was trying to sort of call our team captain. Do I have to play Bundesliga or not? Because, I'm traveling from Buenos Aires, and I have to know where to go, actually. And I didn't get a reply. So I think basically I had a plane to Frankfurt, and then, I sent him an SMS saying that, I'm landing at this point in Frankfurt. So, tell me if I should go to the right or to the left, basically, with the next plane. And, maybe Giri had the same, that he was basically leaving the States, and then he would check the results and make up his mind when he landed, or something like that.
We'll never find out, but it's clear he chickened out from many things
No, it's true.
Some
Actually,
sources, some sources who told me that he was not planning to come.
but you're right. This time it's actually justified with 3 nominations, right? MrDodgy, World Championship, and Bundesliga. Yeah?
Well, the Dutch guys, what can they say? I mean, when you ask them, I mean, like, it's just
Incredibly unpleasant. Poor guys.
no, but they end up in a better group. I mean, simply because of that. Okay. Yeah, no, I understand that's not the worst thing in the world. No, but I mean, your argument that it's not the worst thing, of course, it's he didn't kill anyone. I understand. Yeah, it's not that bad. He didn't organize a ghost tournament or something. But still, I think it's unethical to do that. But yeah, that's my opinion. Like flagging, I'm an old group, like I'm an old guy. Yeah, so I don't think it's good to register and then not.
But the federation who made the rules is really to blame, right? Now I think Jan is going to tilt if I go in that direction.
That was the Chicken Chess Club episode 31. Thank you
32.
so much
32.
for 32.
Yeah,
I called it 31. Whatever. Thank you so much for listening. More nonsense next week. Until then.
Not fully sure.
Bye-bye.
Let's see. Bye bye.